Hello, this is going to be a demonstration on prismatic machining with Catia 3Dexperience. What we're going to do here is we're going to face this material down to this level, then we're going to create a contour around the outside, and then lastly we're going to finish it off with pocketing this inside. This inside does not have a radius edge, so we're going to use a 3/8 square end mill for the inside. We're going to use a 1-inch radius end mill for the outside. And for the top facing, we're going to use a 2.5-inch end mill, or face mill actually, which I've already created here to save us a little bit of time. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to pick our machine. We're going to grab this generic machine right here. 3-axis will do just fine for this operation. Next, we're going to want to pick our rough stock. So we'll come in here. Rough stock is going to be basically what's a binding box, or also known as just the rough stock. You would machine this from a piece of rough stock. You've probably already flattened it and you would just do basic contouring and stuff like that. But from here we're going to pick our 3D shape. Yes, we want to create new geometry. Secondly, we want to pick our part body. So that's right here. We're going to pick that. Next we will select our axis. We'll come up here and select our local axis in the tree. Now what we want to do is we want to make this just a little bit bigger. So we can go 8.5 by 6.5, and we're going to make this 2.5. And what that's going to do is that's going to create a binding box, or a piece of raw material around our part, so that we can put this into a vise and machine off the parts that we need to machine off, subtract the geometry here that we need to subtract in order to get our final product. So we'll select OK. Next we'll edit the part operation. We're going to select which axis we want the machine to reside on. We're going to pick this upper corner here, right here in our stock, because that's where we want the machine to start. Next we're going to pick our design part, which is our part body. Double click off in no man's land. Next we'll pick our rough stock, which is right here, we just created. Next we will pick our safety plane. This is something I created beforehand. This will let the machine know where to retract back to. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a -1 inch. I want this machine to come back. I've been having problems with it going through the part, so just to be on the safe side, we're going to put it at a -1. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here to our programming. We're going to pick Prismatic Machining, and the first thing we're going to pick is facing. Now here it wants us to pick our tool. So we come over here to the tools that I created, and we're going to use this 2.5-inch face mill. Next it wants to know the bottom plane of what we'll be doing. So we got to erase, got to hide our stock, because it wants to know this surface right here. That's where we want it to stop. The second thing we want to do is we want to show that and select our top plane. Now this is our top plane. This is where the machine's going to start. Next we're going to set up our geometry. We want to do a backwards and forwards, and we want to select the direction. So we're going to select this direction. You can see here, barely see there, it's a little arrow pointing in the opposite direction. We're going to reverse that direction and select OK. Now the machine will come back and forth like this. Next we want to do an overlap, because the tool will overlap each other, because you only want to engage about half of the tool's cutting diameter when you're making cuts. This will help with the finish. Next we will select a number of levels to go down. We'll be going down 1/4 inch basically. So we're going to select 4 levels. We could actually probably do 3 levels. and then a finish pass of 0.010 of an inch. We will go back and forth. Everything else is set. Feeds and speeds. We've pre-calculated and found out all these feeds and speeds. You would have to set up the formulas to calculate these feeds and speeds, but I have already done that for us so that we can make this simulation go a lot quicker. Let's simulate this really quick. You see the machine's going to come down. You see this tool path? It's going to go back and forth. There, it did it. It was really quick, but that should be enough to show us that we've got a good tool path. We'll select OK. Next we will want to do is create another operation. In this operation we're going to do a contour. Select between two planes. Since our facing mill is going to take us down to the other plane, we need to hide our rough stock again. And this will be our bottom plane right here. Here will be our top plane. Next we'll pick a strategy. We don't want to do zigzag, we want to go one way. We want this to come around, go around the circle. We can come down in 3 levels, yep, with a finishing pass on a side finish. And speeds and feeds on this one is changed. We can change this to 70. Change this to 35. Change our spindle speed to 6,000. What we've got to do here is we've got to make sure we've got this in the tree. Yes. Now we need to select a tool. So we need to edit this. Let's select a tool. We're going to select a different tool. We're going to use this 1-inch end mill. Select simulate. Now you can see it's going to be a 1-inch end mill. It's going to come and contour around this edge. It's going to go fast, so don't blink. There you go. That confirms it. We're going to exit out of that. We're going to say OK. And now we're going to add one more operation. This last operation is going to be pocketing out this middle pocket right here. So for this, we want to select the bottom here. Then we want to select the top surface, since we've already machined down to the surface and we've machined around the outside already. The tool we're going to use for this one is going to be that 3/8 square bit, or square end mill. Next Next, we're going to select closed pocket. And then we're going to pick our strategy, helix outward, which will work. We'll come in the middle, work our way out. Tool ratio by 3%, yes, overlap's good. Number of levels, we'll increase this one to 4. And we will also put a finish pass. Of 10 thou, yet again. And our speeds and fees on that one are just the same. You can see it's going to come in, helix in, and pocket down. Alright, we've confirmed that. Now comes the fun part. We get to select OK. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to, while holding control, select the pocketing, the profile contour, and the facing. And we'll be able to compute and play all 3 of these. So as you can see here, the machine's going to come in and do all 3 of these operations. We're going to select it so that we can see that the material is going to leave us. And we're going to enable the master clock. We'll close off some of these screens so everybody can see what's going on here. And we're going to start playing. Here comes a 2.5 inch cutter. It's going to make its cuts all the way down to that surface, and then the last cut is going to be that 10 thou finishing surface. Then we use the 1 inch end mill to take the profile around the outside, and then we take that 3/8 end mill and create the pocket on the inside. As it goes down, it does a finish pass each pass, and then at the bottom it'll finish it in the bottom. This will conclude our demonstration for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.